Does your Tesla Model 3 need more bass? Here's your solution. Whether you have the standard range, the long range, or the performance, this Tesla bass package works with all Model 3s up to 2023, both the 12-volt and 16-volt vehicles. So if you need more bass, stay with us because we're gonna break this system down, give you an installation tutorial, and then an in-car demonstration. Hey, what's up? Josh here from Breakers Stereo and Performance. Welcome to our channel that reviews all the best in-car audio, performance, suspension, and more. Because we don't drive stock. And if you're like us, where stock just doesn't cut it, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Okay, so this is part of our custom Tesla bass packages, which are offered for the Model Y, the Model S, and of course the Model 3. Now these packages come complete with a custom subwoofer box designed specifically for each Tesla, and a trim panel for both the Model 3 and Y. Now you'll have your choice between two different 12-inch subwoofers, a 500-watt amplifier, and all the wiring and hardware needed to complete the installation. So let's go over what comes in this package. First off, the woofer choices are either an Alpine S2-W12 or an Audio Mobile GTS 2112. The Alpine woofer handles 600 watts RMS and works well in the small sealed enclosure this package comes with. The Audio Mobile woofer handles 450 watts RMS and also works well in that small sealed enclosure. Now the Audio Mobile does play a little deeper and has a smoother roll-off, but the Alpine does handle more power and is a little more durable. So my recommendation is if you listen to your music really loud, go with the Alpine, and if you like your bass more musical, then go with the Audio Mobile. The package also comes with the Diamond Audio Micro 2 V2. This is a 2-channel amplifier that will be bridged and will output 500 watts RMS. Now this compact Class D amp comes with a bass knob and works up to 16 volts. So this amp is ideal for all Teslas since the older ones are 12 volts and the newer ones are 16 volts. Also, this amp draws very low current, so it will not interfere with your Tesla's electrical system, and there's no need to add an isolated battery. Now, as mentioned earlier, this package comes with a custom box designed to fit in the subfloor and comes with a trim panel that results in a clean, simplistic look that many Tesla owners love. Now the package with the Alpine sub is $869 and the Audio Mobile option is $130 more, making it $999. Okay, let's hit the garage for the tutorial and then the demo. So this particular vehicle that we're working on is a 2023 base Model 3 with the non-premium audio system without the factory 8-inch woofer. So this is going to make a complete night and day difference in the way this system will sound. Okay, so for tools, you're gonna need a drill, wire cutters, a pick's a good idea. This panel pull tool is nice. Also the plastic one. Some sort of socket set, you're gonna need a 10 and an 8. A drill bit set, and also some type of fish tape like this. This is not actually a fish tape, this is just a heavy duty wire tie, and we use this to run wires. That makes your job a lot easier. You can go to Harbor Freight and pick a packet up for like $5. Okay, step one, open all the doors and the front area and the trunk area, and then turn the vehicle off. Okay, go to safety, and then power down the vehicle. Okay, step two, remove the front panels in order to get to the battery. All right, and then pull this panel up. You can just put a little pressure around those clips, so it'll come right out. And then we're gonna wanna take this duct out. This will allow us to have better access. Okay, so now that's cleared out, let's take a look at the battery real quick. So this is the point in which you're gonna have to hook up the battery to. And as you can see, this is just a post. If you need to jump the battery, you can do that. There's not actually a place to secure a wire to it, so you have to create your own. Now, what I'm gonna do is I've already started this, I'm going to drill through one of these slots to put a 10mm bolt through it. As you can see, this panel is kind of in the way, so you're not gonna be able to drill in through like that. It would be a good idea to remove this panel here. There's a few bolts, there's a couple 10s here, and this will come out. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna release this from this post here with this 8mm. And then this is gonna come up. This is just held on there with this. Okay, so I started with about a 30 seconds drill bit, and I'm slowly going up until I get to about 30 seconds. If you're not comfortable doing this, just remove the panel, because this does take a little bit of skill, because you have to hold this thing tight without, catching your knuckle here. You could always run in reverse too. That gives you a little more control. Okay, looks like I have to go up one more. So right now I'm on 15/64. Okay, and that's gonna do it. Okay, so now we're gonna run the wire through this wall here. You should have this blue grommet, just a rubber grommet. I'm just gonna pull that out. Okay, and then you'll have entryway into the inside of the vehicle. Okay, so step 3 is to remove the sail plate, the kick panel, and the lower dash panel. All right, so go ahead and pop this off first. Okay, there's a hook on the bottom, so pull that up. Then you have a clip here. So use your pick to pull it out. All right, looks like that. On the sail plate, kick panel, just pull up. Okay, and it's gonna come right out. Okay, and then we're gonna pull off this panel here. There are 4 clips underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're the same clip that was up here, so once those are off, just pull that down. All right, and then you have access. Now use whatever tool you have to fish the wire through, and we're gonna go right in through that spot where the blue grommet was. We're just gonna feed that in there. That should be enough. Let's go on the other side. We have our fish tape here. So I'm just gonna pull that in a little bit, and then we'll go on the other side and attach our power wire. Okay, so step 4 is to run the power wire through. The first thing you're gonna do is gonna grab that blue grommet and put a hole through it. Go ahead and grab your drill with a drill bit. Drill through this. I'm also going to take my knife here and just put an X through it, just so I have a little more play here. All right, so go ahead and take your grommet now and pull the wire through. Probably want to do it so it's just about the correct length to go from that battery post, okay, to the wall. So I'm going to give it to about right here or so, okay? Go grab your black tape and your power wire here, and just go ahead and wrap this up nice and tight. All right, and then pull that through. All right, and then just go ahead and push the wire back until you get to the grommet, and then you're going to set that grommet. All right, that's good enough like there to hook up to the power wire. We'll do that a little bit later. All right, so at this point, go ahead and grab your base knob. With the cable, we're gonna mount the knob underneath the screen, just like that here, okay? All right, make sure you get it in the correct positioning, how you want it. If you look at the arrow, one's down, one's up, or one's max volume and one's all the way off, all right? So you have double stick tape on both sides. And then we're just gonna set that dead center here, just like that. All right, now go ahead and plug in the cable. All right, and then we're gonna run it under here. Just follow these lines. Now you could, if you wanted to, remove this panel, put a hole and run it through. I don't like to put a lot of holes in vehicles. I wanna be able to back it out if we ever need to, and then no one will ever know it's there. All right, so once it's in there, I'm gonna just go ahead and push it in so you don't see it, as tight as possible, so it's as discreet as possible. And then we're gonna run this across next to the power wire, and then we're gonna go ahead and shoot it back from there. All right, so I'm gonna run the power wire and the remote knob wire underneath the carpet, and that will wire tie it up. We're gonna give you a bunch of wire ties with this kit. So all that right now is underneath the carpet. You don't see it. There's not really a whole lot to attach it to. Once we get down into the kick panel, then we do have some other wiring there that we're gonna attach it to. So I'm gonna attach it to the sticker harness here. All right, so that wire is going underneath here. This wire is for an LED kit that he put in himself. That wasn't anything that we did. All right, so that power wire is under there. It's gonna come over and then out of here, and then you're gonna wire tie here, and then we're gonna run back. Okay, I did want to cover this really quick because I didn't cover it in the last video, is the reason why we're using the power source that's underneath the hood versus underneath the back seat, because underneath the back seat there is a power point as well that you can tie into. From what I understand, if you have a 12-volt Tesla, that will be totally fine. Anything that is newer that has 16 volts, there will be a problem. The reason why I know this is because I talked to the guys over at Orca. Those are the guys that sell you Focal and Mosconi, and they have a Mosconi system for Teslas, and when they initially installed it, they used that point of power underneath the seat. And what they said is after 24 hours, it put the car in limp mode. So from what I understand, that power source that's underneath the seat is being monitored by the vehicle. The vehicle sees that something's attached to it and it thinks something's wrong with it, so it puts it in limp mode. If you grab the power directly from the 16-volt battery underneath the hood, you're not gonna have a problem. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna tap the signal that runs into the doors here. And the doors in this vehicle, because this is not the upgraded version, this is the base version, the subwoofers are actually in the door. So I believe these are about a 7-inch. So we're gonna tap those 7-inch speakers to get the signal, and then we're gonna run it back to the amplifier. Now you could just do the passenger side if you wanted to. I'm gonna do both, the passenger and the driver, so I'll show you exactly what you need to do in order to accomplish that. If you look here, we've already located those 2 wires, and the gray is positive and the tan or brown is negative. Now that's in the white plug, all right? And then you also have a gray plug here, so we're using the white plug. This is the plug that goes into the door jamb, so if you kind of feel around, you can tell that this is the wire that's connected to the boot that goes in the door jamb. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and grab some speaker wire and then use our posi taps here to tie into it. All right, so go ahead and insert the wire here. And by the way, we're gonna give you these posi taps in the kit, and in a minute, I'll show you how these things work. So gray is positive, tan is negative. Okay, let's do the driver's side now. Okay, so on the driver's side, same procedure, pull the panel off here, kick panel and seal plate come out. Right against here, as you can see, we already have the posi taps in place. That's gonna be your speaker wires. And believe it or not, the white is positive in this case, and the red is negative. And this one's actually a lot easier to get to than the passenger side. Okay, so this is how the posi tap works, okay? You got 2 ends. You have our black end and the red end, the black end here. So let's say this is the wire that's in the car and we want to tap it. So you insert the cable into the black end, take the red end, screw it down nice and snug, okay? And then you open up the red end, take your wire, strip it down, place it in there, smash it in there nicely, and then tighten it up, okay? That's gonna be a good solid connection. And what I like about this is a really good connection versus the T-tap. And then if you need to, back it out, you could always back it out, pull it out here, take that, you get a little bit of exposed wire, but you take your tape and you just wrap it up and you're good to go. All right, so now that we're tapped in, let's go ahead and run the wire. Now this is very similar to the other one. We have a couple clips here that need to be removed, but this one does have a couple T30s as well. So you got 1 clip here, 1 clip here, right under the brake pedal. Okay, and then we have 2 T30s, 1 here and 1 here. Actually, these are T20s, not 30s. Just pull this down. Okay. And then we're just gonna run our wire up along this panel. Okay, so now we gotta run our wire through the console here, along with the other wires. So the best way to do this is to actually remove this panel. It's just clips. Just like that, and then we have a clear path to run this wire, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just bunch it up. I'm gonna pull the panel like that on the other side. I'm gonna take it right through. Okay, so we have it right there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and run this wire across just like how we did here. We got a lot of extra wire in here again, because it looks like you put LED lights. So we're just gonna kind of leave those alone. And we're just gonna move this around and go this way. All right, so at this point, since we have all our wire here, we have our power, our speaker lines for the signal and the remote bass knob. Up here, I'm gonna go ahead and start to put everything back together. All right, so we're gonna run this wire down here. Let's pull this up. Okay, that's gonna give us a channel to run this. Now you do have a channel here that has some wire, but that's already occupied. That's not gonna work, so we're gonna go ahead and put it underneath this. Just kind of place this here for now. We are gonna need to remove the B-pillar. All right, so in order to do that, let's open up the rear door. All right, so go and pull the back seat up. There's some clips here. Pull in and then push out there, and then you're gonna just pull this up. And I'm not gonna take it, I'm just gonna put it to the side. All right, because you do have some wire attached. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so let's go and pull this panel up. All right, we'll set that aside. And then from here, we gotta pull this pillar out. So I'm gonna pull that back a little bit. Put some pressure here. I should release that. Okay, that should be enough to run the wires. All right, so we're back to the front. I'm gonna pull this forward a little bit. And then I'll put my wire just down this here. All right, and then we'll put this back in place. Let's make sure you're not pinching any wires. Now we're gonna take the end of the wires and we're gonna put them in the A pillar or the B pillar That's enough. All right, now let's go and pull these through. And then just place that wire down on some other harnesses down there that you could zip tie it to if you wanted to. I'll do that here in a minute. Just kind of follow wires as you see them. Just attach it to them. Okay. All right, and then we'll go ahead and follow up and bring this up to the back seat. Okay, but before we do that, let's go ahead and put the B pillar back together. Let's go ahead for now, place our wires there, out of the way. Okay, snap that back in place. Let's go to the front. One thing here, it's important that this panel, okay, you gotta get this loop here within this pin, okay? And the wires is round in that area, so what I did to avoid this wire getting in the way is I zip tied it to the existing harness there, okay? And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is place it, line it up, get the door rubber in place as well. And then that goes in there just like that. And then from here, we're gonna put this back. All right, so that's in place. Let's go to the back. All right, so to get this off, let's go and pull the seat down really quick. Okay, so just get behind the panel and pull forward. Okay, and then just pull up. Now from here, we can just go ahead and follow the lines. All right, we're gonna go down that way. All right, so let me grab some zip ties. All right, and we'll just continue zip tying till we get back into the trunk. Step 10 is to disassemble the trunk. We're gonna take off this plate here. All right, remove these clips. There's one here. Looks like this is Velcro. I think this panel comes off. There's a clip on the inside here. So come down. All right, we'll just get the other one as well. All right, so when it's in there, there's one here and then on the opposite side. All right, now let's pull this out. Okay, and then let's pull this back. All right, now we do have the light here. So go ahead and disconnect the light. Okay, so from here, we'll just pull this back. I can actually see my wire there. Set that like that, and I'm gonna bring the wire down this way. All right, so here's all my wiring. All right, step 11 is to mount the amplifier. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this amplifier and we're gonna mount it on the inside of this panel. Okay, so this is pretty much doing nothing here, just maybe giving support for that carpet panel that goes over it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out and grab your 10 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out, and what we're gonna do is mount it just like that. All right, so let's do that first. Okay, so we're gonna take our panel here, mount it from the inside. So I'm just gonna place it where I think it's gonna be just fine. Okay, get my drill bit, pure drill some holes. All right, that's one. All right, so that's all mounted. That's what it'll look like when it's in. Okay, so let's go and wire it up. All right, step 12 is to prepare your ground. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this 10 millimeter bolt that holds the panel in as our ground. So grab some sandpaper. You just scuff it up a little bit. That should be good enough. For now, just grab the 10 just to place it. Of course, we're going to have to remove it in order to remount the panel, but I just want to go ahead and get things in order here. All right, that's good enough. All right, step 13 is going to be wire up the amplifier. Okay, so you are going to get an Allen wrench with this amp, so use that Allen wrench to loosen up these here. So just cut that and strip that down. All right, it's labeled here, which is nice. They have this yellow label here, positive on this side, negative on the other. And on this, we're not going to use a remote turn on because this has signal sensing, so we won't need to find an ignition cable. Oh, might be a good idea to pull this out. Get that paper stuck in there, get that paper out. There it is. Paper's out. Let's go ahead and reinsert the power here. So make sure to take that paper out because it sits on the bottom. That's that. All right, so now this does come with your connectors here. Now you're gonna get 2 plugs with this Diamond Audio amplifier, and this is super important. You have your RCA plug, okay? That's gonna go for your input, obviously, and then you have your speaker plug. Now this is gonna go to the subwoofer. Now, if you look on this, and this is why I bring this up, these plugs are identical, okay? I wish they would have done this different, but they didn't, okay? So that plug is the same as this plug, and if you mess this up, you could potentially mess up the audio system in the Tesla, not this, in the Tesla, okay? What you're gonna do, pay attention to what this says, all right? So it says input, okay? On the opposite side, it says speaker output. So let's start with the input first. Let's go ahead and plug this in. In this kit, you're gonna get this adapter. This is gonna turn the RCA plug-in into a speaker level. Okay, so we have our speaker lines here running from the kick panels. We're gonna go ahead and strip these down, and then we're gonna butt connect them to that adapter. So you will get butt connectors in this kit, and you're gonna use those in this situation. Black is negative, and then white is positive. Okay, now, at this point, go ahead and plug this in. All right, next, let's go ahead and wire the speakers, okay? All right, now let's go back to this. If you look here, it says, this is a 2-channel, we are actually bridging this to a 1-channel, okay? So if you look on the bottom, it says bridge, this is your left negative, so you're gonna use this one as your negative, and this is your right positive. These 2 top ones you're not gonna use, okay? So you can just twist those, and then cut them off and tape them up. All right, so go ahead and grab some of the butt connectors that come in the kit, the blue ones, and then you're gonna crimp these together with the speaker output on the amp, okay? So here we go, again. You have the gray, that's gonna be your positive, and then the white and black is going to be your negative. Go ahead and plug it in here. Again, speaker wire, speaker output on this side, okay? RCA on this side, okay? RCA, input, input, output, in from the radio, out to the speakers, okay? Okay, step 14 is to check the pre-tune on the amp. This is gonna be pre-tuned. If I don't have these tuned for you, just set it to where it says Vox. So all the way down, is like that, okay? If you bring it up just to where it says Vox, you're gonna be good. We tested this many times in the Teslas, and this is where it's gonna sound the best. It's not gonna distort the subwoofer, and you'll be able to play it just fine without blowing that speaker out. On the frequency, it's gonna be right about where the F is, which is gonna be, I'd say about 100 or so, maybe between 90 and 100, I would guess, which should be okay. On the turn on mode, we're gonna make sure it's set to Vox, so all the way to the right. And on the crossover, we're gonna set to low pass all the way to the right. So when you get this, it should already be set to Vox, low pass, the sensitivity right there at the line, and then the frequency right there at the F. If it's not, just set it yourself and you'll be solid. Okay, perfect. So that's together now. It's all wired. We're all good to go. I do want to wire tie these up so it's nice and neat. And remember that ground was here, so let's go ahead and release the ground here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this in place now. All right, and the last one, we're gonna place that ground on that bolt, okay? He had a LED kit already in here, so that he's using that as the ground as well. So put that back. Okay, nice and tight. All right, at this point, let's go ahead and just make sure everything works. I forgot to put in the remote base knob. What's nice is it's accessible, so I can just plug it in from here. Go ahead and wire up your subwoofer box. Right now we're just testing it. We're gonna just test it just to make sure it works, okay? All right, so let's drop this in. All right, so step 15 is to go ahead and finish your hood work. All right, so let's go ahead and put the power onto the post here. we will provide with you guys with the nut and bolt. Grab the 8 and we're gonna remount the post. So it's got a hook on the back of it, and then this 8 holds it in place. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and route this wire downward and then mount the fuse holder onto one of these wires here, okay? All right, so tighten that down and we're good. Grab the bolt and then we're gonna attach this back on here. So the back has a clip and then the front gets held in by this 8. Now we're gonna loom this wire and then secure it down. All right, so I just trimmed this part out here where we attach this safety loop, and then this is just gonna go over at the top just like that. All right, now let's go ahead and zip tie it. All right, now keep in mind this vent does have to go back in there that way. So I'm gonna have this wire down. I believe this is a hose that's down here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put one wire tie here to hold it in place. And then the fuse holder I'm gonna bring on the wall. It's gonna be on the wall on that same hose, more vertical than anything. I'm gonna put another wire tie on the bottom hose here to secure it in place. Okay, then one more wire tie right here on top of the battery. Okay, all right, so let's go and test it, make sure everything is working good. Okay, dope, everything's working. Let's go and put the car back together. Step 17, cut a hole in the subfloor panel. This is for the speaker wire, all right, to go into that cavity. So pull that over here, grab the speaker wire, just slide it in there. Okay, you're gonna grab this plastic piece and the wire's gonna go under it, okay? Kind of hold it in place and then pull the wire through. Perfect, and then let's go ahead and pull this back. So the best way to do is just start in that corner. So get that clip, pop it in, and then move to the other side. And then after, you can deal with the weather sealing. So let's go ahead and put the box in, trunks back together, and then put the panel over the top as well. And the panel, beautiful. And then we could also put this over the top as well. This is thin enough. Sound is definitely going to travel through this without a problem. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. Really clean installation. The panel really gives it a nice touch. Amplifier is tucked away, don't even see it. And this goes right over the top and we're good to go. Now let's go ahead and give this thing a real test. On the last video, people were questioning whether you're gonna get bass with the top over it. So right now the top is over it. This car is a little bit different than the Y because it has an actual trunk that's sealed, not like the Y where it's all open. Okay, so let's test this thing out. All right, so if you really want to give the demonstration, then go ahead and grab a good setup over the ear headphones. And we're gonna play with the bass and then we'll turn it down to take the bass all the way out so you can tell the difference between having it and not having it. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I know this since when I had less. No hex on God can't pause, nigga. Look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid. I don't see a thing about that paper. That nigga about that paper. That nigga about that paper. That nigga about that paper. Okay, we're gonna do another demonstration with my man Pookie. He owns this vehicle right here.
What's going on?
All right, so let's check it out and then tell me what you think, okay?
All right, I got you.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm so eclectic, I'm into the credits. Roll talk down to me, they may have to send medical. I'm out the league, I'm OD, they pathetic. Though look how I move, I'm protected. Saudi so soon in my presence. The world going through it outside of your Rudy, but I keep it cool, they can't press me. I keep it pure with intention.
Bro, so insane. This is crazy. I'm so excited. I'm never gonna leave this car. I'm about to be
Nice.
bumping all day. Let's go.
Okay, so This definitely does complete the sound system in this vehicle because it's the bass system. It only has, again, just the 7-inch subwoofers in the doors. Those are not very good. They fall flat. You really need that deeper bass. Even if you have the premium system with the 8-inch, this 12-inch definitely gives you much more bass, completes that premium system as well. So we have systems for both the Model 3 and the Model Y, and all three trims in the basic, in the long range, and in the performance. So this will work with all three of those vehicles. Also, we have the Model S as well with a special Model S box. And again, this will work with both the 12 volt and the 16 volt Teslas. All bases are covered when it comes to this Tesla base system. If you're interested in one of these packages, we're gonna leave a link in the description below. That'll take you to the Tesla base system page. And then from there, you can pick out which vehicle and which system you want. Now, quantities are limited, so act fast, and we have been selling out of these things. So we are limited as far as how many we can produce. So get your order in and we'll get your base package to you as soon as possible. Again, my name is Josh. I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Also, if you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Peace.